Guys, if you just walked out of your non-calculated paper 1 maths exam today and you feel like it didn't go to plan, here's what we're going to do. First of all, maybe this was one of your first couple of exams. You're still trying to get used to the exam environment and the fact that this is actually the real thing and the pressure and all of that. That's fine. Sometimes it takes a couple of exams to kind of get used to what is GCSEs, how it works in your exam hall and everything like that. So you will settle into it. I've also, from personal experience, had some exams that I walked out of and I genuinely was like, I've messed that up. I didn't really know what they were asking me half the time. I was just writing a load of random stuff. And I actually did fine in those exams. In the end, once I got my grades back, I actually did fine. Now, whether that's because maybe in the end I did write stuff that actually was relevant, possibly. Maybe it's because the actual grade boundaries were lower that year, because everyone maybe found it hard. Could have been that. But either way, I have definitely had exams where I literally thought I'd failed the whole thing and I walked out and it was actually fine. So your perception of it is not necessarily the reality. So please don't get hung up over it if you think, oh, I definitely lost all these marks and I definitely didn't do very well and other people are saying that they found it really easy. Everyone's perception is different and everyone's outcome is then different. It doesn't necessarily correlate to, I felt like I did badly, therefore I did do badly. That doesn't necessarily correlate, right? As long as you didn't leave the whole thing blank, you should be okay. Now, think about it mathematically. It's only 1/3 of your whole maths grade. So you still have 2 more chances. That's still the majority to bring it back. I find it helpful to look at the exam grade boundaries. This is particularly for Edexcel higher tier. You can obviously Google them and find out other exam boards, other tiers. But recently, for the past, 6 or 7 years, I've made an average. And what I found is that if you're just looking to pass, you want to get a 4, you need about 20%, maybe 25%. Of everything to pass. Again, grade boundaries do change every year, but roughly, you probably don't need much more than 30% to pass. So if that's what you're looking for, I'm sure that you will have done absolutely fine. If you're looking to get a higher grade, also, it's actually probably not as high as you think it is. So to get a 7, for example, on average, you need about 55%. Now let's just be safe, let's round it to 60%. That's still a whole 40% that you could lose marks on. That's still, if you imagine this, if you got nothing, if you got literally 0 on your paper 1, you could still get a 7 if you did really well in the other 2 papers. So please do not stress, the grade boundaries are not that high, you're not looking to get 100%, okay? Even for a 9, we're not looking to get 100%. I don't think even 90% for a 9. Now, what are we gonna do about it though for the next 2 exams? So we've got to figure out, we're gonna learn from our mistakes, we've got to figure out what went wrong. Was it you felt like you had a lack of revision? You didn't really know the content? Was it that you felt like, okay, I did learn the content, but actually I didn't really know how to answer the questions? Was it that you ran out of time? That you might have been able to answer the questions, but you just ran out of time? Was it that you got in the exam and just completely panicked and then lost your head? Or do you know what the other option is, that maybe it was just a bad day? Maybe it was just a bad exam and a bad day. And these things also happen. So for the first 4, there are things we can do about it. Lack of revision. Check out my YouTube channel. I've got loads of content videos that you can look at. Now, we do have a decent amount of time between now and paper 2, however, not 6 months. So if you want to kind of streamline your revision in terms of content, in the next couple of weeks I will be uploading some videos that, particularly for Edexcel again, are the most common, most repeated questions that they ask, the most common, most repeated topics for maybe paper 2, and some predicted papers. So that might help streamline your revision on the content. For a lack of practice, I would recommend doing past papers. Now on my channel, I actually do live past paper walkthroughs 3 times a week. So you can join us there. We do it Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays at 7 p.m. You can also watch those videos after the fact. If you can't make it on the day, you can watch them back and have a look at the live chat and questions as well. If it's the fact that you run out of time, then you just need to practice time management. Maybe do part of an exam paper and practice. If I don't understand a question, I'm going to keep moving. Or for example, this is a 3-mark question. Okay, it maybe should take me only about 3 minutes. And keep checking the clock. If I've been there for 10 minutes, I need to move on. Just practice moving on. Keep progressing through the paper so you don't run out of time. And finally, in order to stay calm, your revision will need to be researching coping mechanisms. Maybe that's for stress, maybe that's some certain breathing techniques. You could find a specific breathing technique that helps you to just calm down when you're sat in your chair about to start the exam. Whether that's finding some kind of scent that you find calming that you could put on your tie, or you could put on the cuff of your blazer, that you could go into the exam and at least you could be in that environment where it smells a little bit nicer. Obviously not the whole room, but just a little bit to calm you down. Finding ways to help you calm down. That would be your revision. So I'm just going to reiterate, it's only paper 1. You still have 2 more papers to go through. There's still loads of marks to get. So please don't worry about what you may or may not have lost in this paper. Just move on and keep working towards improving for next time.